Hello everyone. So in my last video, I showed how to fill in the side of a portrait taken outside using foliage brushes, which, especially if you're artistically inclined and you love creating and painting and drawing and stuff like that, it's super fun to do. But let's say you're not so inclined. How would you fill this? Well, I always shoot a lot of images from the same session, not only a close-up portrait like this, but additionally, I end up shooting many that are more full body length. And I'm actually trying not to do this all the time. I have a tendency to do that, and it's just one of those things that I always do. And I'm trying to do more close-up ones as well. So in a situation like that, what I do is I typically will just cut out the foliage, and all I do to accomplish this is just grab my lasso tool and just do a really basic selection like this, and then I hit Command J and I end up with this. Okay, so then once I have that done, I go back to my portrait like this, and I'm just going to show you what it ends up looking like when I'm finished with it. But how did I do that? So I'm just going to delete these two layers super quick, duplicate my layer, and I always go to the Properties tab, and if you don't see your Properties tab, just go to Windows and choose Properties and it'll pop up. I just have it right next to my Layers panel because I use it so often. And all you do is click Remove Background. Now, Photoshop these days, the AI in it is just incredible. So you get a fairly decent selection, nothing that is too crazy, and you know, I love what it does. So usually what I'll do is I'll just do some basic touch-ups if I need. For instance, you can see right here that it removed that flower. It's not hugely important, but my OCD brain usually comes in and wants me to bring it back. And I'm just going to clean up a couple of things like this just by switching between my white and black brushes, just to have a little bit more control. And for situations where, let's say, you know, you have some mask remaining, you can simply come over here and you can grab your smudge tool. And the smudge tool is really great for working on a mask. All you have to do is push that in and it'll kind of get rid of a little bit of the edge of the mask so that you don't really have to worry so terribly much about harsher edges like so. And I find this to work most of the time. There will be some situations where it probably won't work so well, but for this is definitely good enough for what we're doing. Okay, and once again, I'm just going to fix this a little bit by bringing this back. We kind of want this green to be right about here, and I'd say that's good enough. So it's not a lot of refining to do, and you turn that back on and of course you're not going to see any of that. But now what I do is I simply come back over here to this and I grab the cutout that I've already done and I drag it over here onto this image, and I just hit Command T, right click, flip it horizontal, place it right about there, hit enter, and drag it beneath that other cutout layer. Now Command T again, and holding down your Shift key, you can just bring it over like this. But that ends up making it look a little too warped that way, so you can just extend it down and then it's going to look a little bit better. And as we can see, Photoshop didn't do what I wanted it to do. You can also use your warp tool, for instance, if you wanted to maybe pull this up so it wasn't quite so weird looking, and just arrange it like so. Okay, hit enter, and then what I like to do is I go to the properties of my mask, so click your mask on layer 1, and again, go to Windows, Properties, if you don't see your Properties panel, and then I like to feather that completely out. And what does feathering it do? It just blends everything together just a little bit more. So just watch your edges. Something like that looks good. Now we're going to come back to our foliage cutout, which is beneath our layer 1. Add a mask. Grab a soft black brush. Just got to make sure it's soft. And we're going to reduce the flow, and we're just going to paint away the portions that we perhaps don't want in our image. And that's a really quick and easy way to get this accomplished. You can bring back some of the bokeh from the sky if you want to, but really this is one of the quickest, easiest ways that I've decided works if you just want a basic background. You don't want anything artsy or creative, anything like that. This is probably the quickest way of doing it. So you just got to play with it and make sure you're getting the portions of the foliage that you really want. And yeah, that's about it. So now to make it look like it's a little bit more, let's say, bokeh-licious, we're just going to bring back a little bit of the sky over here because I feel like this part is a little dark. So something like that. And now the next thing that I do is I click on that image of that layer and I go filter, blur gallery, field blur, and I move my little points to the area where I want more blur to match the other side, because as we all know, if you're shooting closer up, the blur is more intense. The further away you go, the less intense the blur will be. We'll add another point down here simply by clicking our cursor right here, and that to me looks good enough. Click OK, and this is what you get. So that's another quick and easy tip if you're looking to fill in portions of your image and do it quick without getting too artistic. Now, what do we want to do the same thing on this image? Well, it's almost exactly the same thing. So go down to your background layer, duplicate it, go to your properties, click remove background. And again, this is just so nice to have this feature that does a fairly decent job, that it makes our job so much easier. Now, the backlight, if you're wondering, on both of these images, I used the Stella Reflex S, and I just had it on continuous light, and I had her mum standing behind her and pointing it up towards her hair. And the reason for that was because it was the sun was pretty low and there was really no backlight, and I really wanted that glow around her hair. And honestly, the Stella set of lights are just absolutely remarkable for this because they're so portable, so small, and so light, and I love using them for backlight. So with this one, so here's our cutout of that same layer, right? So just Command T, right click, flip it horizontally, and we're going to pull it over here right about there. Just hit enter. We're going to drag that underneath that layer. We're going to hit Command T to transform, and we're going to pull it probably right about here. So something like that looks good, and we're not going to worry about this just yet. Just hit enter, and once again we're going to go up to our mask, go to properties, and feather that right out. And as soon as we see the edges blending better, then that's when I'll stop. But right about there looks good. Again, grab your soft brush, and I'm at about a 53% flow, and we're just going to paint away portions of the image that we don't perhaps want in our picture. Okay, so we're going to come back up over here and over here, because we have a little bit of the background in here that we probably want to keep, and this just kind of helps us blend everything in a bit better. So we're just going to get rid of the green over top of the pathway right about here. Same thing with right here. We're just trying to get rid of the hard edges so that it looks more blended. Probably get rid of that branchy piece. Bring back some of that bokeh from the sky. I am working on the brand new Zents Labs pen display, and the reason why I got it is because I did not want to deal with all of the issues that people talk about with the Wacom tablets, and I'm about to do a review video on it, so stay tuned for that. And I'll let you know what I think after using it now for about a month. Okay, so that's our base layer for this particular add-on, right? And now what we're going to do is we're going to click on the background layer, add a blank layer between the two, use our multiply blend mode, and I'm going to just choose one of these brown colors, and we're just going to come in and we're really just going to paint back the ground, the foreground, something like this. But actually we're going to pull this on top because I want this effect to actually extend onto her dress here and also into the foliage parts here, so that all of the shadows look like they actually blend and belong. Okay, and don't worry about going too heavy because you can always mask it off after, which is fine, but I am going to reduce my flow because it's a little heavy. I want to add a little bit more up onto the pathway, but just want it to kind of fade up so that it looks more, so something like that. I'm just going to add a mask, and this way I have control over what I want to paint back, which will be this portion right here. Okay, same thing, you can feather out your mask in your properties, and that is the beginning of that. Now, if you don't want this portion here, you can do exactly the same thing. Make a selection and fill that in. What I would probably do though is add some branches over top here using my foliage brushes, because I just, you know me, I like to get a little bit more creative than most people. But this is a quick and easy way to do this, and let me show you my final edits on these. And here are my final edits. And FYI, my Teachable School is now closed. Thanks for your patience. I will have my new platform up shortly. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.